Well, today's video is about a day that didn't go quite as planned on our trip up from New Mexico through Colorado, Wyoming, and into South Dakota. Please enjoy my stories or whatever else might be on my mind today. The day started out very nicely here in the city park in Wheatland, Wyoming. It's free parking for 3 days. 50 amp power, and they have a dump station, and there's water available also. Ever get to Wheatland, Wyoming? Check it out. It's a great city park. One of the neat things there was the wind in the cottonwood trees. Kind of reminded me of when I was a kid back in the cottonwood trees in South Dakota. Anyway, we took off for Hot Springs, South Dakota, so about 180 miles that day. I generally don't like to go more than 100 miles a day, but we're kind of anxious to get up into Rapid City to see friends and family. I have a Passport of America membership, and I'd made a reservation at a place just outside of Hot Springs. And when I got there, there was no one there. No campers, no other campers, no one in the office. And I followed the little dirt road down to where the office was, and on a whiteboard on the wall was my name and a designated camp site. So the first thing I figured out was that I wasn't going to be able to make a U-turn and go back to my designated spot without unhooking my car, which I did. And then I made a 3-point turn out into the grass and proceeded to go back, leaving the car there, fortunately, for what happened in a minute. My campsite is up above on a little knoll, and I've got to go up this little dirt track and make kind of a curve around to the right to get up there. And my duals get off in the wet grass, and I lose traction, and I can't go up anymore. So I attempt to back around the corner, down, and my front wheels lose traction, and I go straight down the little hill and poke my hitch into the dirt road. And my first thought is, big rig friendly, my bleep. Now when I say I poked my trailer hitch, I'm talking about that part that you hook the car onto, which sticks out when it's folded up about a foot or 18 inches past the motorcycle part of the hitch. And the motorcycle part of the hitch, the ride height is about 2 feet. So as you look at this picture, I have poked my tow bars for the car about a foot under the ground. And of course my back wheels have lost traction now. So I call up the guy at the park, and he comes over, and he gets a friend of his who has a big flatbed tow truck that you load cars up on, and he comes over and he hooks up to pull me out and pulls himself down the hill. So they hook another thing, a big water truck with a big heavy tank on it, and they hook the both of them together and pull both of themselves down the hill trying to get me out. And I keep telling them, hey, I'm 44,000 pounds, and I don't think this is going to work. Let me call my good Sam roadside assistance. Well, finally they decide they're not going to be able to do that, so we do call that, and this big tow truck comes. And the big tow truck, to keep itself from sliding down the hill, it has these huge big spades, 2 of them, that come down and stick over a foot, maybe a foot and a half, down into the ground to keep the truck from going back down the hill. And he hooks up a cable, and he gives it a try and can't pull it out. So he has to hook up a second cable, and then he's got 2 winches, and they do eventually get me pulled out. Good Sam Roadside Assistance paid the bill. It was $800. So I was a happy camper when we finally got me up on top of the hill and in the spot that I was supposed to be in. The guy that owned the park turned out to be a really, really nice guy, and I certainly don't blame him. And you know, driver's always responsible, so it was my bad. I should have been smart enough not to try to go up that little hill when it was wet like that anyway. But being the nice guy that he was, he didn't even charge me for staying that night. So I got another night of free camping. And that's what happened that day. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you later.